Thanks. Well, looks like I'll have to sneak my way off. I've made it this far, I can do it.
You've made it this far without engaging in combat. I trust you'll have no issues moving further. It was an honor to work with a true professional.
Thanks.
Good luck. If you manage to get the comm spike and make it out alive, next time you're at the Nova, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah, unless I actually find any evidence to get you arrested. Okay, scientist uniform. That is what we are looking for. Have we got one? Yes, we have. Okay, white corner. How am I doing? I've not got my gun out, so that's good. Oh, let's see if I can get this done and dusted as quickly as possible. He says optimistically. Granted, a scientist walking around with a scanner is less suspicious, so... Okay, here's my chance to look less suspicious.
Yes?
Hi. How you doing? Well, fancy a coffee one time in the mess hall? Hi. Okay, right. Dr. Vogel, budget cuts, Archangel. Okay, Project Archangel, supplementary proposals. Hydrogen-based grav drive technology for prototype ships. Okay, funding. Funds would most likely come from UC military defense prototyping budget, but potential civilian application could draw grants from interested corporate parties. Engineer bandwidth. This would likely be a protracted endeavor, but the potential rewards would far exceed costs, would be far more predictable than quantum travel, both from a technical and cost perspective. Hydrogen-based grav drive. Could we use helium at the minute, don't we? Or helium-2, or whatever it is. I wonder if, I mean, hydrogen's the most common element, so... Not that helium-2 is hard to find. Transfer of Archangel pilot. I've requested a transfer of the pilot Alex Vong, codenamed Archangel Azrael, over to the UC Vigilance due to the accident on the project that killed 2 of his peers. He is in no mental state to continue, we need replacement pilots for both Project Archangel and ComSpike. Until these new pilots are vetted, test flights will be divided up amongst the remaining roster of available testers. Leads will need to provide the pilots with a code to bypass the checkpoint. Regarding Dr. Gustav Ames, Archangel, your project does indeed sound promising, Dr. Ram. Make your instincts your compass, and they will always point to true north. Unfortunately, I cannot commit my time or heart to something new at the moment. Moreover, I feel my presence would only hurt your chances in acquiring mass stamp of approval. The number of hurdles Project XNN encountered with procuring the specimens are required, both in terms of the hazardous terrain and the political nonsense that accompanies any deep space mission, as well as Commander Wood's involvement in my projects makes them a third rail. As such, it is in your best interest to make your proposals free of the baggage that comes with my name. Budget cuts. Once more, I'm sending a reminder to our departments that we are doing extensive budget cuts as part of the internal audit into Commander Wood's tenure. Most existing projects will be allowed to continue provided a realistic roadmap to completion has been submitted. Going forward, all new projects will have much stricter requirements for approval. A checklist for meeting this criteria will be supplied as part of your weekly briefings. In other words, it's peacetime budgets. Wartime budgets, you get what you want. Dr. Vogel. Sandra, I'm not sure what to make of Dr. Vogel's request, delivered on a paper napkin to turn his laboratory into a non-Euclidean space. He said you would know the details, but somehow I doubt that. As much as I love the ComSpike project from an intellectual standpoint, I miss working with you and Dr. Ames. I am hoping Project Cloud Strike can get greenlit and we can get the band back together. Should I just take this to Commander Natara? I've never met her before, but I feel like my concerns are valid. At times, Dr. Vogel doesn't seem like he's all there. And yes, Sandra, that there typo was unintentional, but I'm keeping it. Was all there. It's one of those where your brain reads it. It's amazing how the brain can just figure out what word it was supposed to be, even with the typo in there. You just read it and don't even pay attention and carry on. Okay. Well, there's nobody in here. I mean, this is saying go downstairs and go look for somebody. I'm making sure I look everywhere, though. Okay, we're in here. Still don't know who I'm so angry about. She's leaving me.
So,
what's
this big project you're working on?
Well, I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Really? Couldn't you just trust me?
Nope. Right out the airlock you'd go. But I'd try my best not to enjoy it.
Okay, so somebody's next door. Nice to know. Engineering lab computer. Well, and I found a vent. That's handy. More scientist uniform. I know, why am I picking it up? I've already got one. Oh, okay, two research lab, engineering labs. Let's have a look. Project costs. Yeah, read that one. Sandra Ram. Okay, so that's project proposals. X and N. The question of whether alien life is intelligent is a difficult question to ponder without first asking what we mean by the word intelligence. After all, there is often a human-centric bias when we attempt to classify one species as smarter than the other. For example, we tend to view plants as less intelligent than animals because they lack a central nervous system, when in fact, mycorrhizal fungi have long developed sophisticated networks where plants transfer nutrients and minerals to each other without a centralized command center. We often hold the same view of machine intelligence versus biological alternatives. We rely on ship computer algorithms to dispense energy efficiently, the same way the brain detects our limbs. Yet in my study of xenofungal networks, I've learned that there is a better way. Rather than centralized ship control, if collective intelligence can be used to direct ship power, it could increase speed and efficiency by a factor of 2. Potential military applications. Faster computation in milliseconds can be the difference between victory and defeat in battle. Ships low on fuel reserves will be able to grab jump further than when in distress. Financial boon from patents, if determined strategically safe to share, could provide additional funding for our departments. Potential civilian applications. Conservation of fuel and less dependency on mining additional reserves would benefit all mankind, not just the UC. I think the issue with intelligence is, AI, artificial intelligence, and plant intelligence basically works off A to B to C to D to E. All the signals are like that. Humans have the ability to transcend the normal pattern. We can look at something and go, the answer is Z. We started at A, and we can just go A to H, H to Z, and we've skipped the A to B to C to D processes because we can just see the patterns and we can instinctually get there. I think that's the problem with the majority of intelligence. It doesn't mean that the AI intelligence or the plant intelligence isn't clever, because it is, because it can do the A to B to C calculations a lot faster than us half the damn time. But the point is, we can skip it. Who am I actually explaining that to? Project suspension. I warned the departments that cuts could be coming, or would be coming, with Commander Wood's dismissal, and after conferring with Mast, I am recommending we suspend this project effective immediately. Your research into xenoneural networks is interesting, Dr. Ames. But in order for me to justify funding anything that involves alien organisms, we need to be able to pitch some kind of military applications to the higher-ups. To have it appear as if we are violating the Treaty of Narion without producing any actual weapons would be a foolish endeavour. However, my main concern is the budget. Along with the Comspike, this was one of Commander Wood's pet projects, and he seemed to have a heavy influence in several areas that I believe are outside his purview. I'm not making an accusation. I understand he had junior engineers serve as his liaison for much of this, and that is being investigated by my team. Let me be clear when I say I'm not singling you out. More casualties should be expected, and I will send a message out to the entire team soon. Project Archangel. Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your suspension of Project Zen. That was bold, ambitious, so all your work is, but since you're now free, I was wondering if you might consider bringing that big, bold way of thinking to our project instead. I know the team has been trying to design a ship that will take full advantage of our pilot's flying prowess, and with the recent accidents, we could all use a pick-me-up. That's why I've drawn up this supplementary proposal to alter the engines and the fuel of the latest prototype. Historically, we've sought lighter elements, hydrogen, as a property. It's 57 times lighter than gaseous vapours, and 14 times lighter than air. It's odourless and non-corrosive. Liquid hydrogen combined with oxidizers was basically the go-to fuel in old-school space exploration. And yeah, more modern engines have done the opposite, going with the weightier gravitational warping to bend space-time. So we've made the switch from hydrogen fuel to helium, which is also way less flammable and requires less venting. It's the preferred choice in powering grav drives. Now, I've always been a contrarian, Mum always said so anyway, so maybe this is all just foolish speculation, but I wonder if a shift back to hydrogen-based fuel may be worth exploring, given the crystallization process on other planets can enrich chemical properties in different ways and reduce hydrogen's more volatile tendencies. Maybe we need to explore the possibilities of a hydrogen-based grav drive. I don't know, just a thought, but one that's been rattling around in my brain for a hot minute now. So after I dot my I's and cross my T's, I'm thinking of pitching the idea to Dr. Vogel next week, but I would love to hear your feedback on the idea first. Budget cuts, blah blah blah, yep. Alright, what happened on this one? Project... Comspike overview. Mission intelligence is one of the key factors in tilting the scales of war. One can go as far back as the 20th century when Alan Turing invented the bomb machine to decrypt the Enigma code, and that is used to transmit messages. Alan Turing Way, yes, it's where my family are from, in that neighbourhood. The Gorton part of Manchester. Alan Turing Way is where the football team Manchester City had its stadium in the end of the 20th century and the early 21st century. It could be argued that having advanced knowledge of enemy tactics, plans and intentions is of far greater value than superior firepower or numbers. Historically, this has proven so, and thus it is the opinion of Dr. Vogel and his team that the development of projects UCE-86 should prioritise over projects designed to provide a brute force solution to potential war. Potential military applications. Whether it's quantum encrypted messaging or other forms of data masking, the Comspike aims to be a catch-all listening device capable of intercepting and decrypting enemy transmissions. Potential civilian applications. It's unlikely this technology would be shared with the general public, unless a tactical weakness were found in the technology. If such a thing were to occur, the Comspike could be sold to civilian salvage teams. Their crew could use the device to intercept code signals on planets with high data encryption signatures, or hail other ships in areas where data disruption is high. Phase 1. Dr. Gabriel Vogel's project, codename Comspike, now underway. Scientists are unsure where the idea originally sprang from, as Dr. Vogel is notoriously private, but the concept itself is genius. Having the technology be mobile is a particularly interesting quirk. I've relayed the details of the proposals to the admirals at mast. Pardon me with the yawning. All this sneaking around is tiring work. We secured the necessary funding and will begin construction immediately. Engineers have been given blueprints, but as far as we know, this is simply a standard prototype construction for use in space warfare. The actual details of what is on board will come after the initial phase. Phase 2. While Phase 1 is not yet complete, the Comspike is now being developed by the scientists in tandem with the engineers. The two teams will eventually need to be merged, but for now, Vogel thinks it's best to keep the two teams separated. He feels a friendly rivalry will lead to a more competitive spirit, and competition drives innovation. Some of the engineers and scientists have even placed bets on which projects will be finished first, not realizing both are part of Project UC86. Yes. So. Right. Oh. Go on then, let's see how many credits you've got. Exterminator Advanced. Why not? Okay. Let's have a quick look in here. Hello. Hi. Working hard or hardly working? Yeah, that was probably not a good idea. Alright, let's do it this way. That's so noisy you'd think they'd notice. Marine Sergeant, Engineering Lab Computer. Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Doctor.
Right. Doctor. Anything interesting? Safety of our test pilots. Budget cuts. Yeah, that's the same one. Safety of the test pilot. Dr. Kang, Masters indicated that the recent loss of test pirates is in no way a concern going forward for both Project Comspike and Archangel. They're committed to giving us their best, although it's likely given the accident, pilots will be transferred back to sTestF as part of the reshuffling of departments. That being said, the origin of the mechanical failures should have been caught much earlier, especially considering the very large amount of credits budgeting for safety. I realise all of this was greenlit by my predecessor, but the fact that it occurs across multiple cycles on two separate projects is unacceptable. Natara likes to crush balls, doesn't she? Forward draft letter to Commander Natara. Dr. Marcin Eubanks. Erin, here's my draft to Commander Natara regarding the budget cut message she sent out to everyone. Let me know what you think. Commander Natara, I understand that some budget cuts are necessary, but I'm worried about certain benefits the team and I were used to receiving from Commander Woods, and I would rather not discuss it on record. Besides, things are communicated better in person, and I would rather not hear your message through the computer like some ventriloquist trick. I'm not saying things need to go back to the way they were, or how they were, but I think myself and my colleagues have earned something beyond the meagre salary Master so generously provided. That's all I'm asking for here. Compensation requisite to the work we do, and I don't think that's asking for much. If you speak to us human being to human being, rather than as a mouthpiece for Mast, maybe we can come to an accord. In other words, because you're doing such secret stuff that you probably never get another job after you finish working here, you want to make sure that you can retire nicely. I get that, mate. I get that. Did you read my draft? Erin, I sent you a draft of my letter, Commander Natara, on behalf of the engineering team. What do you think? Too revealing, too harsh? I did avoid calling her a dummy and changed the line to say mouthpiece. To be honest, I was banking on the benefits from the various projects Commander Woods has us set up. I've got a mortgage back in New Atlantis and a kid on the way, and of course, Vogel is no help. I don't think he even realises Project Comspike started out as another bullshit proposal we made up to fatten our pockets. It does help that Comspike project is near completion. Whenever Commander Natara questions one of the projects greenlit by the previous command, we can always point to that as a success. Let's just ignore the inordinate amount of creds put into the safety budget and the possession dead pilots that makes everyone doubt the numbers on the page. Oh, yeah, I know, I'm reading out loud to myself. Investigation into Commander Woods. Gabriel Vogel. Oh, Dr. Eubanks, what I'm hearing about the investigation into Commander Woods' activities here. Your concern is that he's approved the budget for several of our projects, which you served as the primary liaison. Now, Commander Natara is telling me we don't have the funds for additional test pilots. You told me our budget was boundless. Clearly, I need to purchase you a dictionary so you can become better acquainted with the meaning of words. I will not let Project Comspike get derailed because some bean counter forgot to carry the one. From Vogel. So this is Vogel. Budget cuts. Natara, do not hit send. From Dr. Erin Kang. Don't hit send. Eubanks, I would strongly advise you not yourself a favour and do not hit send on that message to Commander Natara, or at the very least omit the part about the ventriloquist. You are playing with Dragonfire here. That message is not subtle at all. Certain benefits, really, Marcin, are you crazy? You're basically admitting you were part of Commander Wood's scheme. We need to lean into the fact that the comm spike is working and a success, and refer every question to Dr. Vogel. I don't know if he's a savant or just out of his mind, but Vogel is the kind of engineer who will come into a meeting with a sack full of parts, dump them on the floor, and pray to a toaster that the pattern emerges. 5 minutes with him and Commander Natara will never question our expenditure again. Vogel is our buffer against any investigation. The fact that we have him leading Project UCE-86 is a gift from the universe. Let's not waste it. In other words, he's an eccentric genius. And the eccentricity makes it where people who aren't eccentric don't understand him and think he's weird. So they just do the whole, genius, the fine line between genius and madness thing. Yeah, okay. So you're hiding behind him because he's eccentric. Termination! Eubanks, you're terminated effective immediately. A Marine will be here to escort you from the premises. Do not hit send, bloody idiot. So I won't find him or her. I just need to check something on this one, mate. Comm spike overview. We've done that one. Phase 1. Energy basic blueprints. Phase 2. Yeah, done that one. Read that one upstairs, I think. What's that? Neon Gang, Hard Times, Learned Astronomer. I'm forever collecting books. I'll take it anyway. Not paying me the slightest bit of attention. Which is good. The hide in plain sight thing, eh? Alright, where am I going now? That way. Although there is another vent there. More storage. Struck a spit. Why not? Eubanks and Woods evidence.
Can you talk to the commander? Get me reinstated?
Oh, God.
Natara's doing you a favor, Marcin. Would you have preferred a court-martial? Dishonorable discharge? Because all of that was on the table.
I would have preferred things to remain as they were, so I made a mistake. But my work on the comm spike
was and is irrelevant. Dr. Vogel will do just fine without you. Besides, we both know the only reason you were on that project was to bloat the budget so we could embezzle the creds. And to that end, your share of the funds should be transferred to your Gal Bank account shortly.
What am I supposed to even say to that? Those funds are the reason I don't have a job.
You can start by saying thank you. Hell, I even warned you not to poke the bear. Commander Natara being the Ursine predator in this analogy.
Aaron was right. I should have never hit send.
Yeah, you screwed up. Royally. But you can protect Dr. Gong and all the King's subjects by keeping your mouth shut from now on.
Yeah.
Hey, you want my advice? Find some planet at the edge of the galaxy where you can relax for a bit. Lean back. Really dig your feet in the sand. Just get your mind off all this. Oh, and stop with the sad puppy dog face, too. Makes you look guilty.
And what kind of face am I supposed to have?
The face of someone who got away with it.
Ooh. Tufted like that. Can't believe the idiots left it here. Engineering lab terminal. What's on here? Status. Status. Prototype status. Version 3.7 complete. Flight inspection passed. Hull and check with passed. Life support functions passed. Active prototype testing. Vogel. They might actually have a ship down here, mightn't they? They keep going on about pilots and that. I wonder if the ship's there. Steelers docking port keycard. The UC-86 Comspec prototype ship's been cleared for the next round of testing. Your ship has been moved to docking bay 8 to be prepped for flight. Per recommended precautions, access to the ship is restricted to authorized test pilots. All pilots will be required to pass through the security checkpoint and confirm their test flight number. Steal a keycard once I figure out where they're actually being kept so I can steal them. Hi. Dopey bugger wasn't paying attention to what I just did. Pilot spacesuit. I'm going to need that. Advanced. No, I'm not going to need that. Don't need that. Alright, they have Gravipla helmets in here for the pilots. I'll be able to get away with putting that on in a bit. Okay. Well, I've got a pilot suit. I just need to find an actual key card. Okay. I mean, he's not paying any attention to the fact that I'm opening every single locker. He is dense. Come on, mate. I'm even doing the dodgy whistle as I walk past you. Don't be that dense. You dare, you take my stuff again, you die. Ooh, somebody's in for it. Luckily, it's not me.